Welcome to Roasting the World. We offer an adversarial perspective on today's cultural issues. We do it for the intelligent culture. I'm your host, Keenan Robinson, and we have a very special guest today. We have
Portia.
So yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Portia.
I'm 33. I'm a hairstylist, and I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah. All right, so our topics, we're going to do more than one, but our topics today to be roasted are good hair.
Okay.
So I've been hearing all my life about good hair, bad hair, nappy hair. What's your thoughts on that as a stylist?
I mean, I think everybody's hair is good hair.
Right.
And I think society has a lot to do with what our hair should look like or supposed to look like.
I mean, but at the same time, like people walk around in bonnets all the time. They don't care what society thinks.
That's true, but I'm pretty sure they're not like in a professional industry, especially where you have to step out every day. Right. Basically looking your best, as you should.
Right,
You know, we have days we don't want to, but we should dress every day
to impress.
Exactly.
So I hear people say, "Well, this is a quick style. I don't want to comb my hair every day. I'm tender-headed." I think that's lazy.
I wouldn't call it lazy because it's not the easiest thing to do.
To comb your hair?
It's not.
That's like washing your tail.
I mean, people got different ways of doing it. You raised in different ways. Some people use towels, some don't.
Who don't use towels? Oh, okay. Well, we're not gonna. We're gonna leave it. We use towels and soap. But so, do you feel like you have to have a more? Cause I see a lot of people with locks and stuff like that. But do you feel like you have to have, as a woman, right, a more Eurocentric hairstyle to feel like you fit in the corporate world? Because then I hear when you go home, you take that off, you take the hair hat off, or you wear your neck. I don't know. So, like, what you thinking?
I say yes.
Okay.
Because you want to present your best self. I mean, if you're
best self,
but if you're comfortable, if you think that's your best, if you're on your grind, you like to look good, smell good. People feel like they're best when they just laying in the bed. So I think it just varies on who you are and what you do.
So let me say this: there was a time when I had like a big afro, right?
Okay.
And I used to kind of slick it back or whatever, but I couldn't get a job. I had all the credentials, couldn't get hired, right? But then when I cut my hair, I got a job.
Right.
Like, but if I wanted to grow long and wear cornrows, what is it? Is it that our hair gives us power, like Samson, or I mean, is it because I remember they did some type of studies on Native Americans back in the day when they had hair, they could, sense people like sneaking up on them or stuff like that for war tactics. So, do you think that's what it is?
I definitely think hair is power, regardless of how you wear it.
Okay.
Sometimes I like to go natural. Sometimes I like to wear my hair with the weaves. Of course, I'm promoting it because I'm a hairstylist.
Right.
And so people like to see your work and they see, oh, her head toe up. Why would I go to her?
Right.
And it's a visual thing.
It is.
It's definitely visual.
Do you think that when you come home to your man or spouse or whatever, for our women, that they're presenting their most confident and best self to them if they don't have that on and they're just their beautiful selves without that? I don't want to say regular because it's still people's face card is
it's still your best self.
Okay.
I mean, it's what makes you comfortable.
Okay.
I think it varies upon each person individually what makes them comfortable. Okay. I'm comfortable at home and I'm comfortable out in the streets.
Right.
So I like to switch it up a lot. I really don't have a specific thing, and so I think that's what make people switch it up a lot. And you feel different when you look good. You feel good,
right.
And so when your man thinks you look good or your spouse, you like, okay, well, baby, like this, I'm gonna rock it.
Do this more,
yeah.
Right. So what about so do you feel like men are more? And I'm speaking I'm talking about black women right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That men and black men are more attracted to the weave and the more like what you have now, the longer straight versus the afros or the braids.
Of course. Men are visual, and I've learned that they are visual. When they see you, it's the first impression that they have. Now, if you're getting to know someone, if you've known them for a long time, the comfort zone is different.
Okay.
But as far as upon meeting someone the first time, yeah, you're looking visually at them. I'm looking at your shoes. I'm looking at your teeth. I'm looking at your hair. You know, black people with teeth, we love teeth. So
and shoes.
See, there you go.
And shoes, like for real. So you think that men prefer the straight, even if it's their hair, like permed or flat iron, versus, because I remember back in the day, women had big fros. And they were fire.
I agree.
Fire.
I agree.
So what has changed in society that's the preference? I mean, and then they're so expensive.
It is expensive.
Man, I heard a girl say, "Oh yeah, you gotta get my hair done. That's $500. $500.
That's correct. It is. It's an expensive upkeep. It is.
Every week? Every
is.
month? What?
Let's just put it like this. Black women are the #1 consumers of hair. So it's $1 billion industry with us alone.
Wow.
Us alone, it's $1 billion industry.
Okay, so what if we reallocated half of those resources, right? And put it towards community building, or like investments, or education, or therapy, or mental health? Like, what are we doing?
I mean,
and who gets that money?
My thing is, as a hairstylist, I am all of that. When you sit in my chair, sometimes I'm your therapist.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm your doctor, because I got to figure out what's going on with your head.
Right.
Sometimes I can find indications of things that may be going on with the body before it even happens.
Right.
Just based upon your head. We got to realize that this is our crown.
Right.
And I mean, I wouldn't want to play with my real head. Like, you're the closest thing to my brain.
Right.
So energy, we all know about energy and how energy transfers. So I just think, you know, it's just important to have somebody that you trust do your hair. That's #1.
So that's a really big thing right there. So you feel like we're getting our therapy sessions, because I know when I'm at the barbershop, right, getting my edge ups and all that stuff, I'm talking to my guy. Shout out my boy C-Mac. You know, he's been cutting my hair for a long, like 20 years.
Okay.
And we talk about stuff, you know. So, and then when you're in that environment with other I'm gonna say like-minded people, but people that, you know, are there, you tend to talk about trending issues, topics, and feel comfortable, because this is barbershop talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
So y'all have the same thing in the salons or in the beauty shop or whatever, where y'all, you know, bounce stuff off of each other and get your therapy sessions in, so to speak.
It's definitely knowledge. Like, I remember going to Alabama, way in the country, just to get a line, and I walked in there and there was so much soul in there, and I learned something from everybody. I took something from it. Right. You know, especially when you're hanging around different people that have different opinions. Right. So that's another way for us to come together, you know, and share ideas or tell each other things that we didn't know. So I love the aspect of it, and I've seen pictures where it's women cooking, it's kids, it's all type of stuff going on in the barbershop. People will literally sit there all day.
Right, that's true.
All day.
That's true. So you know what? So that kind of changes my perspective listening to you about how you're the person that inspects the crown, right? And then you are the therapist, the mom, the grandmom, the person that gives people advice when they're sitting there, because they do go and talk to y'all, because you're there for some hours, because it's a long time. Yes. And then in the barbershop, the line be longer than the mug every time. Especially on like a Saturday or something, you there for 3 hours, unless you make an appointment. Okay, so we're gonna pivot a little bit. Now you said you're from Jackson, Mississippi, right?
Jacktown.
So like some like trending news and stuff that's kind of going on down there is that there's like a push to appoint, like, I think judges and a non-black group of people to be over that area as far as judges and criminal justice, policing, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know the specifics 100%, but can you speak to that as a person from there and what the climate is? First,
Jackson is home. I love home.
Okay.
It's a great place to be. It has a lot of history. It's black excellence everywhere. Okay. Anybody that I've known that came from Jackson has made it.
Right.
I think that they make it an area where, okay, they're supposedly poor people and we can control them by dividing and conquering, of course.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of people don't go there. I can't say that. I hear people say, I'm going to Mississippi. Like, it's such a bad narrative and they're scared of it because of the history that they've heard about it.
Right.
Not necessarily being there, because we, HBCU, shout out to Jackson State.
Yeah, I had an ex-girlfriend, Stacia Glasgow, and Tontanique, her twin sister, went to Jackson State.
Love
so
Jackson
shout out
State.
Jackson State.
I love thee.
There's some Iowa stuff y'all don't know about. But so you say that it's trying to be controlled. When I think of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and a few other places like that, even Texas kinda, I think of racism.
Right.
I think of, I don't want to get stuck driving through there at nighttime, pulled over by a cop or something. You know what I'm saying?
Initially, I've never seen a sundown town, which is the town you can't go in after the sun goes down. I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've been in Jackson pretty much my whole life. I still go to this day.
Okay.
I've never been racially profiled while I was there either.
Okay.
I don't know if that's because I'm a woman or I'm coming and going, but I did stay there and I'm from there and I've lived there. I went to school there.
Okay.
I never witnessed any of that.
Good.
So I don't think it's like, I think it's what people say it is.
Okay.
Instead of what it really is, because it's a great place to be. It's full of soul. The food is good. It's your people.
But that's in the black culture.
That is.
But when you go outside of the black culture into the American culture and historical culture for Mississippi and those type of states, that really happened. It's historical articles and laws and real life and things that have stuff really did transpire there. That was not good. You know, there really are sundown cities where you have to be, if you there when the sundown, you got a problem. You know, or racial profile and different things like that.
Yeah.
So those are real things. So as a person that is an advocate for Jackson, Mississippi, you know, would you suggest that people move there? And why are you now in Tennessee versus in Jackson?
In Jackson, I didn't have an opportunity.
What do you mean? You said black excellence?
It is black excellence. It's like, because they give us the lowest of the low, we make something out of anything.
Okay.
Out of anything.
Right.
So once I transpired to Tennessee or Nashville, everybody was like, "Oh, you're so this. Oh, you're so that," and I'm like, "I'm just doing what I was doing back home."
Right.
But back home, they don't consider it. They don't consider it a, I don't know the word I'm
like a
looking
hot
for.
commodity, or
like they look at it like we all do this. You know, everybody does hair, everybody hustles.
Right.
So when you come up out of a situation like that where they're not giving you a pot or anything, like the lowest of the low.
Right.
Like if I ride through my little town, it's called Terry. It still look like horses, carriages, and one washer, one this. Like it's very country.
And it just stayed right there.
It stayed right there.
So that kind of happens to people sometimes, where when something happens, you get stuck at 15, you get stuck at 21, or you're in your high on the horse days of high school, and you're reliving that your whole life. Do you feel like for that particular city or area, they've gotten to a certain point where they've hit the ceiling? I mean, because I know if I was in charge, I would want to be progressive and build skyscrapers or you know what I mean, like being plants to that particular area, because I know it's land there, right?
It is. It's a lot of it.
Okay.
I want to take this example with Deion Sanders and how he did with Jackson State.
Okay.
I don't think anybody thought that those boys were capable of running all the way through. You know, 0, what was it, 0 or 11 and 0?
Yeah,
I don't know how it goes.
They ran a perfect
They
season.
ran it perfect.
Right.
And all they needed was a little bit of guidance. They don't have that there. It's kind of like a rob, steal, and kill, or get it by any means type situation.
Right.
Which is not always the best way to go about things, but that's what they know. They're a product of the environment.
Okay.
So once nobody in Mississippi really steps outside of Mississippi, they stay there.
Right.
If I would have stayed there, I think I still would have been in that mind frame.
Okay.
I wouldn't be doing hair, you know, because they keep us there mentally.
Right.
You
So
know?
you've risen above some of the the glass ceiling, so to speak,
Oh, yeah.
of that particular area.
Oh yeah.
So do you think that we as a people in America, because I can't speak of other places,
Okay.
have hit like a glass ceiling, or do you feel like we're flourishing like when you came to another state and people see your value? You know what I mean? And then what can we do to make that happen if we're not doing that?
I think we've definitely hit, because I've been out the country.
Okay.
And I've asked about the culture in the schools. These kids are learning 3 different languages
Right.
in school, and here in America we're learning a broken language called English.
And we can't even read in 3rd grade.
You know what I mean? So it's real difficult. And I mean, myself,
Right.
I don't have any children. I was like, I would rather raise my children out the country
Right.
than in America, because I mean, as far as they're concerned, we're just trained to work.
Right.
You
They're
know?
not building bosses, they're building workers.
Exactly.
And I think that's the educational system, especially with history, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of skewed. You know, that's not teaching the full, you know, spectrum of our history. So I think they need to, and I like, okay, I'm grown, right? I got multiple degrees in college and whatever, but I never used the Pythagorean theorem, or I don't use that stuff, but they steady making you learn it.
Correct.
Teach us about financial literacy.
Right.
Teach us about how to, you know, invest, credit, how to build generational wealth.
That's right.
You know, I feel like those are the things that we need as a people. How to, you know, the law. Because a lot of times what get us messed up is the law. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I don't know how or what I can do to enact change to make those things. And I'm in the educational system, and I feel like I can, like a drop in the bucket, I can say, hey kid, do this. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Because it took a teacher telling me that's the only reason why I even went to college. But now everybody's saying, don't even go to college, just start at this. And I'm like, well, college worked for me. And it got me out of the hood. It got me out of poverty where my mom was locked up, my dad wasn't around. I had to figure out something, or I would have been in that same cycle.
Right.
You know, so I had to find something, and that worked for me. It may not work for everybody else.
Right.
Shout out Tennessee State University. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? I'll be a problem.
Me personally, just to throw this out here since we're on the subject, my family, we big in the HBCUs. There are AKAs, there's Delta, there's Q Dogs, and so I'm the only one in the family that didn't go to college. Okay. And I told them, I was like, I don't want to do that. Right. I said, I know I'm going to party. I know I'm not going to be responsible, and I'm going to waste y'all money because I'm not paying for this. Y'all want me to go. Right. And so my mother sat me down and she was like, baby, you ain't got to go. Right. And my family was so disappointed in me because I come from a family of, they have degrees and they do big things. Right. And I sat down with my uncle one day and he was like, if you had to go to college, what would you go for? I said, business. I want to run multiple businesses. Okay. He said, why would you do that? He said, your instructor probably don't even own a business. Right. So he was like, get up under somebody that has a business and you can learn from them. Right. Mentorship. Because people go for the check and it's not for the passion. And I think that's what separates a lot of teachers. They need a check. These people need money. Right. They're not caring if you learn or not. They want to get that check and go on home. Right. And then you got people that's passionate about teaching that take it above and beyond to let the students really get hands-on and understand and maybe even watch them flourish on out. So that's what stopped me from going to college, because I'm like, I know a couple of business owners and I got up under them and here I am today. I'm successful. I didn't go to college. I went to hair school. I still took a trade. So that's important too. I remember, I ain't gonna say I remember, but I heard, you know, back in the day, like Booker T. Washington, they taught like brick masonry, how to build houses, you know, stuff like that, that people could use right off the bat. Right off the bat. And I think that's important because, like, my brother's a plumber, my other one, the electrician, you know, people, my homeboy does HVAC, and they're making good money taking care of their family. Yes. They don't have to go to, you know, to a traditional college. But you should go get some type of training in something. You know, some people go to SAE, learn how to be engineers so that they can do music or different things like that. And I just think you need to do something. Do something. And I think that's important to try to push that
you're not just gonna sit, especially now. Rent costs $1,500 for a 1-bedroom. You better be getting some money some kind of way.
Some kind of way.
Now, if you want to work hard and work at McDonald's and Kroger's and Checkers and Chick-fil-A all in one day, 24 hours.
That's on you.
You know what I'm saying? But if you want to work smarter, get you a trade, specialize in something. Like you specialize in hair.
Right, that's my passion.
And I know that you get paid good money. I got my hair done from you.
Yes.
I was fresh.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? It was
come
like
out the
in pockets. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and plus we want to look good. When you look good, you feel good.
That's correct.
And I think that's a high quality service that you provide, because people come out of there and their spirits are lifted.
Yes.
I remember back in the day when I had shorter hair, my hair be all kind of messed up, my line, whatever. I go to my barber, come back out, man, I'm like, I'm him. You know what I'm saying? I'm him. So you make people feel that way. That's priceless.
It is.
You know, that's priceless. So I really, you know, I really agree that we should figure out something that we're passionate about and not just spin our wheels.
Exactly.
Now, for a while when you're younger, you should be running that checkup. You know, but when you get a little older in life, you want to do what you really love. You want to be passionate about it, because otherwise you just, you know, money kind of, it matters, but it don't make you happy.
I think before I even started getting paid, I've been doing hair for like 20 years.
Right.
And so my mother, she knew I had the gift.
Right.
And she was like, nope, you can't do hair in my house. I was so passionate about it, I did it outside.
Wow.
So I'm sweating. I got a line of people on my back porch.
And you're in Mississippi.
But this was in Nashville.
Oh, okay. I was like...
In Mississippi too, because I did the family hair.
Right.
And so I had a line of people on my back porch waiting to get their hair done, and I'm busting it down because I love what I do.
Right.
And so I wasn't even getting paid for it.
Right.
I just love doing it, and I wanted to do it.
And you know what? And they say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And, you know, I do films and movies, books, and music, and I love doing that.
Right.
I like helping kids. I love doing that. So I don't feel like I'm working hard.
Right.
Now, some days I get tired more than others, but I want to do it. I have the passion to do it without somebody having to push me to do it. I'm like calling people, hey man, you want to get in the podcast? Hey man, you want to get in this movie?
That's right.
You know, because I want to do it. Even if nobody showed up, I'm still going to try to do it.
Right.
So I think that passion is, you know, is really an important piece in whatever you do. So in Roasting the World, we have what's called roasted or toasted, right?
Okay.
So if you roast something, that means you toss it in the fire and you like, we don't need to talk about this no more. It's not pushing our community or our culture forward, right? If you toast it, that means that you know, raise your cup up to it and you say, we need to have a more robust conversation about this particular topic.
Okay.
So the topic of, you know, good hair and passion, I ain't gonna throw the laws and stuff that's going on down there, because that's kind of that's a hot mess. But you know, so as far as the hair piece, do you roast it or toast it?
I toast it.
Do you toast it? Well, give me hit. Okay,
Yes.
So what you do now is you tell the audience, you know, the onlookers, your fans, the people that your family, whoever's listening, why you feel like it's important to be your most beautiful self, get your hair done, take care of yourself, wash your tail, all that kind of stuff.
I just think in the overall beauty industry, it's just a standard. And as kings and queens, we ain't gonna go around looking like peasants. We are flashy people. We like to look good. We like to smell good, and we're gonna keep it that way. And that's what the books do show us. So I'm gonna go with the books, and I'm gonna keep it cute all the time. I mean, I love it. Who wouldn't love it? You know, when you see yourself in that mirror, your reflection, you're proud of yourself, or you gotta build your confidence, because these days suicide is such an all-time high.
Right.
And people don't have confidence, and people get bullied and stuff like that. A simple hairstyle or a simple getting dressed and getting up or putting on makeup or whatever you want to do, it'll make your day. It'll brighten your day. It'll just really alter the ego.
Right.
You know, ego is such a big thing, you know. So with all these things going on at an all-time high, we got to look our best. We got to put our best foot forward, because the kids are watching, the parents are watching, our grandparents are watching. We putting on for our families, setting legacies. My youngest client is 6. My oldest client is 70. It's gonna keep going. It's not gonna stop. It's not.
But don't be peasants out there. Be kings and queens.
Kings and queens.
Absolutely. Well, until next time.
All right.
Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And stay tuned for another exciting episode of Roasting the World. We want to thank our special guest.
Thank you.
Peace. Do you want to shout out your...
Yeah, shout out to my salon. It's in Brentwood across from Nipper's Corner. Athenian. I really can't pronounce it because I just started a month ago.
Well, you better pronounce
it. But
it.
it's Athenian Barber and Beauty. Right across from Publix by Nipper's Corner.
Got a website or anything to tag or... anything else you want to say? So you can, drum up some brr.
Some brr.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing. Just come see me. Come get the total experience because that's what I'm offering. I really love to see people on their A game, and I just want to add confidence to anybody that's just willing to sit in my chair and just get the experience.
All right. Thanks for coming. Yeah, you did 25 minutes. That's good.
Ooh, that was quick.
Yeah. Because we was in a good conversation.